Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day. My name is Nur Hidayatun Naziha and today I will present my research proposal entitled Study on Association between Food Allergies and Food Choices among University Students in Kelantan. I will start my presentation with the introduction part, which is the background of the study. According to World Allergy Organization (WHO), allergy is defined as a hypersensitivity reaction towards ordinarily harmless substance which called allergen that is initiated by immunological mechanism which is supposed to be harmless to normal people. For the problem statement of the study, based on the statistic, the number of global population affected by food allergy is estimated between 220 and 250 million people. People with food allergy usually will restrict certain amount of food intake because they want to avoid the allergic reaction from occur. However, it also can cause nutrition-related disease when the restriction occur for a very long time. There are three research questions for this study. The first one is, what is the prevalence of food allergies among university students in Kelantan? The second one is, does food allergy influence the food choice of university students in Kelantan? The third one is, does financial background influence the food choices of university students with food allergy in Kelantan? For the research hypothesis of this study, there are two research hypotheses. For the first one, H0 is food allergies do not influence the food choice of university students in Kelantan. Meanwhile, for H alternative, food allergies influence the food choice of university students in Kelantan. For the second one, the H0 is financial background do not influence the food choices of university student with food allergy in Kelantan. Meanwhile, for H alternative, financial background influence the food choices of university student with food allergy in Kelantan. General objectives of this study is to determine the prevalence of allergy and food choices of university students with different financial background, comparing between students with food allergy and without food allergies in Kelantan. For the specific objectives, there are three. The first one is to identify the prevalence of food allergies among university students in Kelantan. The second one is to determine any significant relationship between food allergies and food choices among university students in Kelantan. And the last one is to determine any significant relationship between financial background and food choices of university students with food allergy in Kelantan. This is the conceptual framework of the study. Persons who have food allergies can develop allergic reaction even if it's only small amount of allergen in food. Therefore, they need to avoid eating any food that contain allergen which can trigger food allergy. Because of that, some food are restricted from the diet. However, the restriction of diet can cause low intake of certain nutrients and limited the food choices of the individual. The absence of needed nutrient for the foods that contain allergen can contribute to nutrition-related disease occur. The study is significant because college years are the crucial years for the people with allergy, as it is the first time for the young adults are away from parental supervision. The students are fully responsible for the safe management of their allergy. They needed to be smarter when they choosing the food without parent guidance. Risk of food allergies reaction believed to be may be increased due to factors associated with obtaining meals that are prepared by others. Part is the literature review. The first one is the pathophysiology of allergy. Antibody will produced by human immune system. IgE is the antibody that responsible in allergy reaction will bind with IgE receptor when person with allergy first exposed to an allergen. In next exposure with the same allergen will bind to the terminal site of IgE. Mast cell will activate when two or more IgE bind into it. The activated cell will release histamine and bind the receptor in other cell, cause swelling and from inflammation reaction, which is the allergy reaction. WHO divide food allergy into two different types, which is IgE mediated and non-IgE mediated food allergy. Next is food allergy among adults. Usually, food allergies occur in children compared to adults. However, there is still cases of food allergy in adults. Food allergy in adult may represent persistent of reaction that begin in infancy or early childhood, or it may be initiated in adulthood through new sensitization. Next is the food choices for allergy people. When shopping for food products, individuals with food allergy will usually spend more time on food labels. The ingredient list was referred by many people as a reliable source of information about allergen content. When eating outside home, individuals with food allergy will avoid certain type of restaurants or food. Some people will ask restaurant staff whether a dish is contain allergen or not, or ask them to inform the chef to remove the food containing allergen from their dish. The last one is the nutrients deficiency in allergy. For some people, by limiting the exposure of allergen is enough to prevent the allergic symptom from occur. However, nutrients deficiency can occur to people with allergy when there is elimination of any major food without considering its nutrition implications for a long time. Next, we go to research methodology of the study. The first one is the research design. The research design of the study is cross-sectional study design. The independent variable in the study is the presence of food allergy, meanwhile the dependent variable of the study is the food choices of university students. The scope of study is involving the calculation of prevalence of the student with food allergy and also the identification of correlation of food allergies with food choices of university students. The location of the research is in Kota Baru, Kelantan. This is because in Kelantan there are various types of food and most of food are made with hidden ingredients that can trigger allergic reactions such as budu and many other things. For the population of research, it will involve the students from two university, which is University Science Malaysia Health Campus and also University Malaysia Kelantan. It will involve year 1 to year 5 undergraduate students. The representative will be chosen from these two universities with different courses and years and brief about the description and the objective of the study. So for the sample size, according to the sample size estimation from 3 specific objectives, it ranged between 83 to 90 people. So the highest range is selected and added with 20% of dropout range. So the sample size estimation is 109 individuals. For the sampling method, it will use a simple random sampling method. The subject will be included into the study when they are undergraduate university students from randomly selected university in Kota Baru, Kelantan. They are first to 5th years of studies. They are voluntary participate in the study and also complete the questionnaire. Meanwhile, they will excluded from the study when they do not consent and give incomplete response. There are few ethical considerations that is really important in this study. The first one is the subject vulnerability. So the participant can choose whether they want to participate or not in the study by signing the consent form. The second one is the privacy and confidentiality of the subject. So participation is completely anonymous as there are no name or email as in the questionnaire. So only research team members will have the access to the data and the participants will not be revealed to any other parties. Data presentation will also be presented as group data, not individually. So for the declaration of absence and conflict of interest, the participation is completely volunteer because there is no payment or incentive that will use to attract the interest of the participant. For honorarium and incentive, there are no honorarium and incentive given to the participant. And lastly, community sensitive and benefit. So some question might appear sensitive for some of the participant. However, as a benefit, the participant can know their day-to-day habits and also food behavior. In addition to manage their food choices, especially for individuals with food allergy. The research tool that we use in this study is only questionnaire form, which divided into a few parts. The first part is the general characteristic of the participant. The second part is the history of allergy and risk factor. The third part is the food product and meal place selection method. And the next one is the food frequency questionnaire, FFQ, which determine the individuals use their food consumption by asking the frequency of consuming for item based on a food list. And the last one is the self-regulation of eating behavior questionnaire, which is a self-administered scale that assesses the person's ability to change their behavior and food choices. The operational definition of variable in this study are divided into 3. The first one is food allergy. It divided to the participant with food allergy and also without food allergy. The second one is the food choices, which is determined by FFQ, SREBQ, and also food products and meal place choices. And the last one is the financial background. It divided into 3 groups, which is B40, M40, and T20 groups. The data collection will begin with apply and obtain the ethical approval. So when it approved, the participant representative will choose and will be explained about the research the representative. If they are disagree, they will exclude it from the study. But if they are agree, they will proceed to answer the online questionnaire, which we estimated can be done in 50 minutes. So after they answer the questionnaire, the data will be collected and analyzed for the presentation. The data collected will be analyzed using SPSS and also Microsoft Excel. There are a few data analyzed. First one is the prevalence of food allergy. It will be analyzed using Microsoft Excel using the standard mathematical calculation. For SREBQ and also FFQ questionnaire, it will be analyzed using the independent test, and the financial background will be analyzed using McNamara test. So this is the Gantt chart that will be used by me throughout the study to finish all the tasks that involved in this study. The prevalence of food allergy and the possible association between food allergy and food choices among the students in Kelantan are determined in the study. So, it is expected there are significant association between food allergy and food choices among the students in Kelantan. Lastly, these are the incoming tables that we will use to present the data that collected before in this study. That's all from me. Thank you.